Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. This is actually our first episode. By the way, this podcast is called Evolving Pathways. So welcome. Our topic for today is marrying traditional and new age psychology. Before we begin, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And to those who happen to be listening to us for the second time or the nth time, welcome back. And to those who don't know us yet, I'd like to introduce ourselves first. I am Soul Dr. Kyla. I am an aesthetic dermatologist, functional medicine doctor, self love coach, and Mind Valley certified hypnotherapist. Prior to becoming a doctor, I also obtained a degree in BS psychology. My co-host is Coach Ken Ken. Ken Ken, would you like to tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, syempre. Hi, kamusta? My name is Ken Sumera and yeah, same with Kyla. Naka-focus ako sa the mind, of course. Neuro-linguistic programming. I've been practicing since like 2009. So, very passionate ako dito. Malalim na ako dyan. I do coaching and therapy. And yeah, I work with techniques like conversational hypnosis and clinical hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
So, yeah, been doing this for more than a decade already. And I'd love to share dito sa ating podcast ngayon kung ano yung mga pwede natin approaches and options. Since ang ganda ng topic natin for session 1, di ba?
Yes, it's very close to our hearts, 'di ba? And they're
Mhm,
very much in line with our practice, 'di
mhm,
ba? Our professions. So, just to give a recap
mhm,
on like our pre-episode 1, we did mention in our three pre-episode 1 podcasts
uh-huh,
that our aim is to promote transformation through inner alchemy, mind awakening, and shifting realities. We are not giving absolute answers. We are merely presenting options. You know, we're not imposing anything. Kumbaga, you can agree or disagree with us. Uh, our aim naman is to like find common ground and to merely help people, by giving different options towards healing.
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
without, do you have anything to add, Can?
Yeah, meron.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to siyempre dito na tayo, simulan na natin, 'di ba? I'd love to share one of the key concepts that I've learned from like years back. It's called H plus. I'd love to start with that. H plus is well, it's called hypnotic intent. Okay. So, ano nga ba
Hypnotic
yung
intent.
yeah, hypnotic intent. I'm not sure kung na-share ko rin 'to sa mga sessions natin before, but hip as a hypnotherapist, parang could you describe unconditional love?
Unconditional love. Wow, that's so deep. Um, Actually, 1 hour is not enough to
No, no,
describe.
on top of mind lang. When you think about unconditional love, what comes to mind?
Well, I associate it with kindness, joy, and freedom. How about
Freedom.
you?
Ganda. Sa'kin, top of mind, I mean, very very controversial ngayon yung mga talks about parents, talks about, 'di ba? Ayan, 'di ba?
True, true.
But I do think it's the purest form of love that I could think of. Like dun ko nako-connect yung hypnotic intent. And that's what I was taught. For a lot of practices, may mga factors, may mga approaches na sabi, bawal ka, you have to be professional. Wala kang
Mhm,
care or meron kang system lang, you follow this and that for
mhm,
doing a therapy. Yung naturo sa akin is mainly possibly very, very different. It starts with unconditional love. It starts with an
That's
intent,
very beautiful.
a full
Yeah.
intent to actually listen, full intent to work and help the client work through things, kung ano man yung nararamdaman nila at yung problema nila.
Mhm.
So, why am I starting with hypnotic intent? Um, Isa yun sa mga reasons then why nabuo din tong podcast because as nakausap ko si Kyla, she has a genuine intention to just, spread light, work with people, na share what yung mga nadaanan niya experiences niya and what she's learned from it.
Mhm.
So, same with me. So, that's why siningit ko tong hypnotic intent because it's a nice feeling.
Mhm.
And if most practitioners could start with a full intent to just help the client get through work, help
Mhm.
them like work things out, or just intently listen. I mean,
Mhm.
that could
Ah,
change a life.
oh, that was beautifully said. I fully resonate with that. I did mention in our like pre-episode one, like our emotions or our heartfelt intentions are more important than strategies or logic or like rules. So with that,
Sarap, right?
maybe we can begin
Oh,
with
game. Game
uh
na. Let's
yeah,
dig
game
deep.
na.
Oh, let's dig
Yeah.
deep, di ba?
All right. So maybe we can explore this uh in chronologic or historical context. Like for example, who started psychology ba? 'Di ba? Like who are the most popular psychologists in history? Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people have already heard about Sigmund Freud. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, he divided the personality into three parts, like the id, the ego, and the superego. So he was just saying that the personality is composed of three components that interact with one another. Like the id includes like our animalistic drives, our primal instincts, like those include like for example the desire to feed, the desire to dominate, the desire for sexual pleasures. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's like the super ego. This is like the more moralistic part of the psyche. So this includes morals, societal norms, uh our personal standards, like whether it pertains to beauty, our professions, or anything under the sun. So it's the ego uh, that's actually like the part of the psyche that tries to mediate between the two. So like yes, we have inner or more primal drives, yet there's also that part of us that also needs to soothe or conform to certain standards or certain expectations from the world around us or even from ourselves. So can you think of any new age psychological approach that's quite founded on this concept?
Sa akin, I mean, madali i-connect dyan sa mga neuro-linguistic programming. But
Mm-hmm,
again, um, it's a totally different approach already eh. I mean,
mm-hmm,
from just understanding, siguro nandun na ako sa new age kasi ang course ko is IT. Tapos
mm-hmm,
yung ginagawa ko ngayon
mm-hmm.
is more on working with
Yeah.
clients with these stuff.
Mm-hmm,
Pero siguro kaya ako sinabing neuro-linguistic programming is medyo hindi na kami nakafocus dun sa fundamentals na yan eh.
mm-hmm. All right.
Working with the id, the super ego, the ego.
Mm-hmm,
Ang tinitingnan namin more or less like what are you ano yung mga conscious, what are you thinking of right now? Ano yung mga unconscious,
mm-hmm,
subconscious?
mm-hmm.
So dun kami more on nakafocus. How siguro I talked
How
to
to
you the other
reframe.
day and we discussed this not on
Mm-hmm,
live eh, not live. We talked about how a person structures the problem.
mm-hmm,
How a
mm-hmm,
person like structures belief. So yung like approach ng isang NLP practitioner, we Get
Mhm.
minsan hindi na namin kailangan intindihin yung problema. Hindi mo na kailangan sabihin sa amin yung
Yeah.
problema,
That's a
eh.
very new age approach that there's no
Oh,
need to like really
ah,
like repeat the traumatic experiences or talk about the painful experiences. You just go straight to the solution, right?
puwedeng hindi rin solution. I mean, if you structured and created the problem, you can also structure and create the answer,
Mm, mm.
'di ba?
Okay.
So,
Gets, gets.
we look at things like patterns.
Mhm.
So,
Alright.
if things can be learned, things
Mhm.
can be unlearned too.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
it's like, if I were to connect a logic, since we're talking about it, the mga foundations,
Mhm.
isa, since NLP naman counted naman as new age, eh, 'di ba?
Mm, yes, definitely.
Um, Foundations na tinitingnan namin, yun nga, una yung how you structure.
Mhm.
Second is mga iwasan yung mga generalizations, hindi porke eto yung
Yes.
nangyari sa isang tao, malaking chance gano'n din. So,
Mhm.
may iba-iba
Yes.
yung contributing factors to one thing.
Mhm.
Um, yun nga, para yang table. Kung titingnan mo yung isang table, look at it like it's a belief. Table, meron yan 4 na ano, eh,
Legs.
na legs, eh, that
Mhm.
support it, eh.
Mhm.
So, if you could like see it as a structure and you remove what supports that belief or
Mhm.
change what supports that belief, malaki yung chance na nababago rin siya.
Yeah, you can reprogram like the mind or the belief system or the behavior. So
Mm.
it's I think naman going back lang to traditional psych, you
Mm.
did mention like the table analogy.
Sige, yan.
That's I believe that's quite related to BF Skinner's propositions. Like he was basically focusing on rewards versus punishments, that behaviors that tend to reap rewards tend to be repeated, and behavior that usually lead to undesirable consequences would be avoided. So parang I'm not sure whether this is part of NLP, but I've heard it from Tony Robbins. Like the two main driving forces among human beings are the avoidance of pain and the the pursuit of pleasure. So like if computers are binary, 'di ba? Like human beings are also like sort of organic computers din naman eh. So parang uh like we can process stimuli
Mhm.
and like respond with either a yes or a no. So like when we see something, we ask ourselves, is this desirable? Yes or no? Is this painful? Yes or no? Diba? So,
Teka, ika-cut muna kita diyan habang tumatawa ka pa.
okay.
Siyempre, bagong lahat, happy birthday. Ayan,
Thank
bumabati yung
you.
mga tao sa ano, sa live natin. And
Thank
also
you,
we're live on TikTok
guys.
right now, tama ba?
Yes, we're live on
Also
TikTok.
live on
So,
TikTok. So, one thing that I'd like to also acknowledge, just for our viewers also, and yeah, for the both of us, you could see when a person is genuinely happy. Napansin niyo ba yun, guys? So, lalo sa mga
mhm.
nanonood sa live, as you get to show your support sa birthday ni Kyla, you saw her smile when she really, ay wow, di ba? It's a
Yeah.
different glow, eh. It's a different glow. And it's really nice to see when a person genuinely like is happy and smiles. So yeah.
Mm. I wear my
Uh,
heart on my sleeves. Well,
uh,
I mean, it's a nice practice.
mhm.
Just to relate that to our current topic, part of
Ire-relate
me.
talaga natin yan.
Segue, segue,
Oo,
diba?
ganun talaga. Siyempre, point out tayo ng example, tapos biglang, hop, teka lang, bakit ganun? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Right now kasi like I'm a very firm believer in heart math. Uh like there was actually a device that tried to measure the electrical signals coming from the brain to the heart
Mhm.
and the other way around. And they discovered that there were more signals coming from the heart to the brain than the other way around. So for me, like our hearts are more powerful energy centers than other chakras. I'm not sure whether everyone's familiar with chakras, but anyway, in my view, kasi like the heart is at the center of everything. Like there are seven chakras, and the heart is the fourth chakra. So, just to give an illustration, for example, if you're uh a healer, even if you've already undergone a lot of trainings, you've already passed your exams, even if you've already memorized the steps that are recommended in treating a person or treating a client, when you don't have that genuine intention to love your client or to help your client, or when you're allowing your own negative emotions to get in the way, even if you say your lines perfectly, even if you touch your client in the most scientifically sound manner, your client still wouldn't heal. It's just like when you're dating, 'di ba? Even if you compliment like your date, yet you don't mean it, the person will feel that you're not being sincere. So I work under the assumption that everyone can read my mind, meaning actually the truth is human beings are perceptive of our vibrations or emotions. So what's more important to me is to like be genuine about my feelings, whether they're good or bad. I try my best though to put myself in a really good state before healing a client. And whenever I'm not in a good state, like I try to reschedule. However, I'm getting better and better at, like, not really automatically, but I'm getting better at quickly going back to a more emotionally elevated state. I reached this point through meditation and by following the suggestions that I've picked up from books, from personal development courses, and like some healing practices as well, like Reiki, acupuncture, and crystal healing.
Mm. I just want to connect with what you said kanina. Sabi mo dito parang um yung mga tao, meron yan parang radar, tama ba? Na
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
nape-perceive
can
nila
sense
kung
vibration.
genuine ba yung tao o sincere ba or
Mm-hmm.
yung mga term na ginagamit ngayon, authentic ba yung taong kausap natin. And ina-highlight ko to sa mga clients ko eh. Isa sa malaking part ng process na ginagawa ko with NLP is to train the individual to improve their senses. So, siyempre, we usually call it just sensory acuity.
Mm.
Okay? So,
Five
kasi
senses: seeing,
may mga
hearing.
taong dense
Mm-hmm.
na minsan kahit nagjo-joke ka na hindi na or hindi mo rin nila nagigets na hindi na nararamdaman. May mga
Mm-hmm.
tao na sobrang sensitive na konting micro expression mo lang, hop, hindi ito sincere. May mga ganun na. May ganun.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi tinitrain to.
Mm-hmm.
Tinitrain to. So, as you get to work with visual acuity, you improve what you want to see, where you look at. So, kunwari,
Mm-hmm.
as you get to work with this more, minsan tinitingnan mo na yung micro expressions ng kausap mo.
Mm-hmm.
Tinitingnan mo na yung onting kahit simpleng pananamit lang.
Mm-hmm.
Minsan doon mo na nakikita, teka lang, seryoso yung meeting pero nakapambahay siya, sincere ba siya o hindi. Di ba, minsan may gano'n na tayong mga
Oh,
nalalagay na rule book sa atin eh.
wait.
So,
I have a comment on that. Pero sige,
sige,
please
sige,
finish what you're
tuloy ko
saying
lang yung
muna.
idea, tuloy ko lang yung idea.
Sige,
So,
please continue.
connect ko rin siya with auditory acuity. So, namamap na natin yung tono ng kausap natin kung galit siya, Masaya
Mhm.
ba siya? Malungkot siya? So minsan nagsasalita pa lang yung lalo na 'pag mga partner, family members, onting change, a little change in tone of voice. Dahil masyado tayo na-map na natin sila masyado, kunwari onting tumaas lang akala natin galit na.
Mhm. Mhm.
Tama ba? So, yun yung ine-explain ko with perceptive working with emotions. We could train that. Yun lang yung gusto ko i-highlight dito. Pero going back to what you were saying, so ano yung i-connect mo dun sa sinabi ko kanina?
All right. You were saying kasi na sometimes just by the way like a person dresses or like with a person's tone of voice you can already have like a certain conclusion about that person's
Kadalasan gumagawa sila ng conclusion for
or
that eh. Yeah.
yeah. I just want to give like a word of caution that
Mm,
sometimes it's also colored by our experiences or
mhm,
uh our sets of beliefs.
mhm.
And it's also largely affected by culture.
Learned
Like for
siya,
example,
oo.
the Koreans, 'di ba? Sometimes they
Mm,
just talk loud. It doesn't mean that they're being disrespectful.
mhm, yeah,
It's just that that's how they talk.
mm.
Sometimes we mistake excitement for anger or aggression. So
Volume lang
sometimes
'no? Oo,
yeah,
minsan volume lang, yeah.
I just personally think that we can always exercise caution. And
Mhm.
even when the other person is being aggressive or being combative or being offensive, for example, like I have learned from Sangha, that's like the meditation group that I joined, that it's also beneficial to it's beneficial for us to actually look at another person with more compassionate eyes because this is like just a practical illustration ha.
Mhm.
If for example you're talking to someone who's very stressed, very demanding, like if you allow that person's quote unquote negative energy to get to you, you will also get a bit uh irritated or annoyed, right? Whereas if you just consider where a person is coming from, like when you think about why that person is like that, perhaps
Mhm.
that person is just having a rough day, or maybe that person had a rough childhood, or maybe that person was just trained to be like that without knowing any better, then we can more easily also manage our own reactions to them. And we are doing that not for the sake of the other person, we're doing that for our own sake. Because if we get affected by their negative emotions or their negative energies, like that's gonna ruin our day too, right? And as healers, I remember Paul McKenna saying this. By the way, guys, for those who missed our introductory episodes, Ken and I met at Mind Valley. We
Hmm.
both underwent the hypnotherapy certification under Paul McKenna.
Yung una nila, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sabi ko na.
and sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying before
Ah,
that?
you were talking about seeing a person through, like, kind eyes,
Ayun,
when you went to work or
naalala ko
whatnot.
na. Yeah. As therapists or healers or coaches, like it's also our responsibility. Wait, that's not the right term. It shouldn't be coming from obligation. It's beneficial for us when we pull our clients or patients up rather than allowing them to pull us down, right? You
Mm.
remember that session that we had with him, like we tried to match like he was
Nag-build
talking
ng
about
rapport, eh.
mirroring, diba?
Ah,
Like mirroring
rapport, yeah,
rapport, yeah, when we are establishing rapport with our clients, like sometimes we are here and they are here, so
okay. Sige, that's
Like
good.
we try to mirror them first, just so we can establish rapport with them, and then we eventually lead them to where we want them to go.
Or also where they want to go. So,
Where they want to go.
yung siyempre I'm more or less aligned with what he said, and also siyempre I've also been practicing for quite some time, kaya meron na rin ako parang like approach for that or
Mm,
realizations with that. You would agree with me 100% with this. Very very important sa client work yung authority.
mm-hmm,
And yeah, importante rin yung rapport and matching with the client, 'di ba?
mm-hmm,
Pero ayun nga when you have the you have worked with a lot of clients already, ano ka na meron ka ng certain like air of like experience when you come in, minsan hindi mo na alam pero yung level of authority mo ang taas na, right?
mm-hmm,
Kasi there are clients na they won't see you as authority.
mm,
And napansin ko lang na medyo mababa yung chances of them following your advice or following whatever you say. Kasi wala kang authority with them,
mm,
'di
mm-hmm,
ba? So, beyond rapport, very sa akin nakikita ko napaka-important din ng authority. So yung
mm-hmm,
sinasabi ni Paul McKenna,
mm-hmm,
very important na yeah, with that authority and that rapport, you could lead them kung saan mo sila gusto. Pero i-add
mm-hmm.
ko lang is also before we work with clients, ang laking factor then we ask them what their goals are,
Of course, of
'di ba?
course.
So
We're
we
not
help
trying to manipulate them naman. That's
so
why this is hypnotherapy, not hypnosis.
So
There's a
meron
big
tayong
difference
point
between
A
the two.
and meron
Mm-hmm,
tayong point B. So parang ito yung this is where I'm at and this is where I want to go. Kumari, ito may problema ako ngayon, gusto ko dun sa state na wala na akong problema.
mm-hmm,
So as ginagawa namin ni Kyla, we work with the person so that we assist them with their journey from point A to point B. Kung may mga times na nawawala sila along the way, nandun kami to actually guide them so that
yeah.
they could reach point B. 'Di ba?
Mm-hmm,
So,
yeah.
balikan ko lang yung very important tong ano point na to, sinulat ko to So, habang nag-uusap tayo, siyempre kaya ako merong ballpen. Sinusulat ko yun.
Pen and
Para
paper.
mababalikan natin yung mga points natin kasi alam ko pag nag-enjoy tayo pa sa usapan natin, wee, we could go a long, long way. So, balikan ko yung una. I want to insert a term called congruence. So,
Mm-hmm,
it's like marrying a lot of our senses So, sinabi natin, okay, hindi porke, ito yung judgment doon hindi porke nakapambahay siya, ibig sabihin hindi na siya seryoso umattend sa meeting.
mm-hmm.
Tama? Pwede kasing
Yeah.
talagang nagmamadali na
Hasty
siya at talagang,
generalization
ayun nga, generalizations, kaya kailangan natin siya
or
iwasan
judgment.
So, baka naman, sa sobrang pagmamadali niya dahil tingin niya sobrang importante itong meeting na to, nag-rush siya kahit na marami pa siyang naipit siya sa bahay, marami siyang gagawin, imbis na magbihis pa siya, nirush na niya pupunta dun sa meeting. Di ba?
Mm-hmm,
Pwede kasing ganun din yun That's, kaso, kadalasan kasi, hindi natin alam yun.
mm-hmm,
But when we ask the question, tsaka natin siya maintindihan. Oh, but, bro, question ko lang, but parang nagmamadali ka yata? Bro, nagmamadali kasi ako. Importante itong meeting ko. Tsaka mo lang siya malalaman. Pero why I said congruence is, let us match other senses. So, kunwari, nakita natin yung facial expression niya nakasimangot, pero
mm-hmm,
yung tono niya masayahin. Di ba
mm-hmm,
meron mismatch? Di ba parang
mm-hmm,
ganon? Di ba? Look at
mm-hmm.
check how it feels also. And pag na-feel mo, narinig mo, masaya siya, pwede mo ma-invalidate na baka nakasimangot lang siya. Baka ganun
Hindi
lang
lang
talaga
siya
yung ano niya.
naka-botox, kaya siya
Baka,
nakasimangot. May
baka lang.
resting bitch face siya.
Oo. So, when I read a person or when I
Mm,
profile a person, yun yung tinitingnan ko. So, I'm not fully judging. Pag meron akong doubt, I could easily ask, bro, question lang, bakit ganito? Or is there anything wrong? Or is
mm,
there anything that you're feeling right now? Diba? Pwede mo itanong yung ganun so that they could
yeah.
easily open up. And then, yun nga, yung lens and reframe. If you get to as coaches we and syempre mga friends natin mga healers kung ano
Mm,
ang dami iba-iba yung mga friends natin na nandiyan
mhm,
um if you get to change your lens you could see something differently. You could either magnify things, you could make it blurry. Ikaw na
Mhm.
bahala. And
Mm.
what I'm saying with reframe is, kunwari, nagda-drive ka. Di ba? Nagda-drive ka. Bigla may kumat sa'yo, bam! Di ba
Mm.
minsan, ang initial reaction natin, gago to ha, bad trip to ha, ha?
Road rage.
Loko-loko
Yeah.
ka, loko-loko ka. Pero, ay, baka nagmamadali lang siya. You wear a
Mhm.
different lens, biglang, it changes the way you approach things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is something that everyone could do. If you're seeing an event that's happening in front of you, like kuwari, nag-aaway kayo ng pamilya, partner, or anyone, tapos biglang, ito yung common lens na gamit mo, check mo. Baka pag nagsuot ka ng ibang lens and then
Mhm.
you see the event differently, maybe the reaction could also change.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
actually
gusto ko
like
lang
that
i-connect yan.
metaphor eh. Like actually I have set like a segment intention or like a micro intention that like in everyday life I
Mm.
wish to see things with rose colored lenses so that I can see the more positive sides of life.
Ano yung ulit yun?
So
Rose colored?
rose colored lenses
Wow.
kasi like
Solid sila.
in episode uh point two, I did
Ah,
mention, diba, na I felt that the first half of my life, assuming nga na I'm gonna live until the age of 80, I felt
mm,
that the first half of my life was so miserable. It was full of pain, full of suffering. So I set an intention, that for the second half of my life, kumbaga, I've already paid my dues. So
mhm,
for the second half of my life, I will already begin to appreciate the blessings that I have. I will choose to focus on the things that give me joy, the things that bring me peace, or like the things that give me a sense of fulfillment. Because like we typically manifest the things that we often think about, diba? So, um, if we program our minds to search for things that bring us joy, love, excitement, for example, then those are the things that would manifest more in our lives because our brain is like actively searching for evidences to validate that our life is beautiful. Whereas if you constantly think about negative stuff, or if for example you repeat certain beliefs about yourself, like for example you keep on saying uh ay ang bobo ko, ay ang pangit ko, ay ang taba ko, then your brain will try to search for more evidence to support those statements.
mm,
So yon, I've set an intention to see the world more with rose colored lenses so that
mm,
my brain would all or rather my heart would intentionally or deliberately look for things that are well in my life.
mm. Okey. I-ano ko lang, i-acknowledge lang natin siyempre yung mga friends
Mm.
natin na nanonood ngayon, oh.
Thank you so much. We're really grateful. And um, again, I'd like to mention that our intention naman is to like just really share and like shed light on possible paths that you guys may eventually want to follow. Yun nga
Mm,
eh, parang we're not giving very precise prescriptions. So my analogy for this is like turning on the lights in different paths. We're not like lighting only one specific path. We are giving you guys options. Just choose whichever resonates with you most.
yan. Yun palagi kong statement yan, eh,
Mm.
lalo before starting a workshop parang, "Eh, guys, okay, you don't need to take notes, hindi niyo kailangan isulat lahat. Just write down what resonates." I
Mm-hmm.
mean, minsan meron kang makukuhang aha moment sa sobrang random lang na nasabi ng isang tao. and it could
Mhm.
change it could create a new thought that could lead to better actions in the future. 'Di
Mhm.
ba? So, di mo alam, eh, just
Yeah.
write what resonates and, eto
Yeah.
nag-e-enjoy lang kami mag-usap ni Kyla and
Mm. I'm
wala
learning from
kaming
you.
plan. Learning from, yeah, we're learning from each other, learning from
Mhm.
the people who are watching. And again, we'd love to be interactive. Kita niyo naman nag-interact din kami sa mga tao sa
Yeah.
live.
If
Kaya
you
hindi
have
namin
questions, please feel
Oo,
free to
puwede,
post them
puwede 'yan, eh.
also,
Oo, puwede 'yan.
Yeah. Mm.
Kaya yung naging decision namin, with doing this podcast na ni-record clinic lang namin yung record pero naka-live kami. Para at
Mhm.
least, we could also make sure that, we're doing this for the people, eh. So, at least siyempre
Yeah.
kausap din namin yung mga tao,
Yeah.
'di ba?
This is a
Maganda
form of
'yan.
self-help, eh. Like, if you're
Mm,
not ready yet for therapy, I mean, I do believe talaga in like doing the inner work. Some people just don't feel comfortable with engaging, for example, a psychologist or a coach.
mhm,
So sometimes you can start with self-help.
hmm.
So I'm hoping that with this podcast, you'll be able to get bits of useful and practical information that can help you on your journey.
Tama,
Yan.
tama. Palalim pa kami kasi, next episodes namin,
Mhm.
ang goal namin mag-episode at least once, twice a week or once a week 'no?
Once a week
We'll make
siguro.
sure
Yeah.
na meron talaga. And
Yeah.
then, kunwari meron kayong mga questions ngayon, puwede
Mhm.
namin 'yan i-bangko tapos
Mhm.
tackle
We
namin the
can
next
address them
we can
later
address
on.
them on
Yeah.
the next episode.
Mhm.
I-acknowledge din namin yung nagtanong.
Mhm.
Bakit, again, feel free to just ask a question here, lalo na if you're
Yeah.
going through something. And if it's uncomfortable for you to use your account kasi medyo personal, you can use a different account. At,
Mhm.
basta
Mhm.
be genuine with your questions. If the person is just not, you know, just trolling, syempre hindi na namin sasagutin yung tanong. But if
Mhm.
we feel that the person genuinely is like needs help with something, we'd love to give you like options on what you could actually do, or
Mhm.
maybe you could find some answers with dito sa mga kwentuhan namin ni Kyla.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kyla, going back, so, usapan
Mhm.
natin is new age and
New
traditional,
age.
di ba?
Yeah. Okay,
Balikan mo
sige,
natin
balikan
yung
natin.
topic. Oh,
All right. Sige,
balik
sige.
tayo. Balik tayo.
Let's go back to that topic. Yun nga, since I transitioned from traditional to
Mhm,
new age to integrative. Now I don't want to say that I'm strictly new age naman. I mean, yan nga. Kumbaga, I give due recognition to those scientists or those healers who tried their best to gather information on the best ways to heal people also. I mean, they do have valid contributions naman to society. It's just that we're trying to like just take the best from each school of thought. Kasi there's no such thing as a one size fits all. So I keep on saying that. Kasi like even for my daily spiritual practices, like I incorporate a lot of activities or concepts
mhm,
from for example, Buddhism, quantum physics, even Christianity, because I used to be Catholic. Like I still recognize the valid points of Christianity. It's just that I also recognize that other religions, other philosophies, or other teachings also have merits. Kumbaga, sometimes conflict happens because there's little compassion or little empathy for other people, where we don't always have to agree on everything naman, 'di ba? Yet it wouldn't hurt to give another person airtime, and just to also acknowledge like the other person's points if they are sound to you, right? Can are you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
Oo,
Yeah,
nag-headband ako, yes, yes.
sorry, I couldn't see you kasi nga
Kailangan
my phone is in the way. Like, I can't see your face
gumilid
on my
ako.
computer.
Hindi,
Yeah.
binabasa ko lang din yung
Ah,
mga
yung comments. Alright.
yung mga comments
Okay.
natin,
So, so
yeah.
going back, parang I digressed a bit. So, yun nga, since I started with traditional and then I shifted to new age. Now I'm shifting to integrative. Um, all I'm saying is that change is always possible. Like old age or traditional neuroscience or traditional psychology uh, had this belief that after a certain age you can no longer change your mindset, your personality, or your behaviors,
Mhm,
because some belief systems, some behaviors, or some emotional responses have already been hardwired. Newer research shows that neuroplasticity is possible. What is neuroplasticity? It merely says that the brain is capable of reorganizing its structure to eventually reorganize its functioning. I was supposed to like record a video of neuroplasticity happening in real time. Yun nga, sorry, I wasn't able to finish my homework. So next time I'll
Episode
share
two,
that with you
episode 2.
guys.
I-note natin yan,
Episode 2. Pero
assignment,
pwede
assignment.
naman, I can just use my hands as props. So this is an illustration of neuroplasticity. Um, for example, like a classmate of yours from grade school bullied you.
Mhm,
Every time you see that person, you get upset,
anchored
or
na
you
siya.
get scared,
Okay.
or you just have this desire to like really punch that person in the face, or kasi pwede mang fight, flight, or freeze, or maybe you just want to run away from that person.
Mhm,
You can recondition that belief with different types of approaches. So, what happens on a microscopic level when you embark on change work is that um, there's this saying in neuroscience, that neurons that fire together wire together. So, a neuron, that's like a nerve cell or a brain cell, it's composed of axons and dendrites. So dendrites are like uh hands or branches,
hmm,
and like they interconnect with other neurons or other nerves or brain cells. So when a certain thought or a certain emotion gets repeated, bigger bundles are formed. So highly or emotionally charged memories are harder to forget because there are more bundles of neurons that wire together to remind you of that trigger or situation. So, for example, this is like the huge bundle of neurons associated with that bullying experience. When you do either cognitive behavioral therapy, NLP, hypnotherapy, or other modalities, uh, the the nerve bundles detangle, and then they eventually separate. And then when you try to come up with healthier beliefs, or when you choose to see that person in a more compassionate light, then you can create new bundles of neurons. And by the time that there's no more connection between that bully and that negative experience, uh, you have already formed new neural bundles, and you have already formed new ways of responding to that classmate of yours. Parang, did I explain that clearly o medyo malabo?
Malinaw naman. Wait
Okay.
lang, wait
Sorry.
lang. Pero ano, nag-comment kasi si ano, Ellie
Mm.
Espanto. I am that classmate from grade
Oh
school.
no!
Never bully.
You're very nice to me.
Ah,
Don't worry.
Ellie. Siyempre.
You're not a
Ah,
bully.
hindi, hindi kasi siguro ibalik ko lang dun sa ano, sa ngayon neuroplasticity na ano. So
Mm-hmm. We
assignment
can
assignment
rewire
'yan.
our brains.
Ayan,
Just
rewire. Pero siguro for everyone, i-discuss pa namin deeper yung neuroplasticity on the next
mhm.
episode. So, tama?
Or pwedeng quickly lang. Parang I
Sige,
have
sige.
an easier to visualize illustration.
Sige. Yeah.
It's similar to like uninstalling apps from your phone and then installing new apps.
Wow.
So, so ganun lang yung neuroplasticity.
Actually, yan. Malinaw na malinaw yun. Installing new apps.
Removing
Updates.
old apps.
Pwedeng removing, pwedeng
Mm,
nag-update ka, 'di ba? So kunwari, nire-install mo yung game, 'di ba? Iba na
mhm,
'yon. Iba na yung
mhm.
mangyayari do'n, may updates na rin kasi. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
And healers would
Um,
often say you let go of certain beliefs that no longer serve you. Like, for example, Reiki healers, Seraphim Blueprint healers, crystal healers would also say that, just let go of the baggage, let go of the limiting beliefs, let go of the pain.
Puwedeng similar din dun sa pinag-usapan natin kanina about, installing lenses. As you see things differently, iba na nagiging pattern na lumalabas after you get to approach the problem, differently na. Tama?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a question. How can I counter my propensity for procrastination?
Okay. Well, I have like I mean again we can come up with multiple solutions here, and like one episode may not be enough to discuss everything, so siguro one
Quick lang.
answer each na lang
One
tayo.
answer each. Sige, sige, sige.
Okay, sige, picking up from BF Skinner, reward and punishment, pain and pleasure, uh maybe associate uh what's the opposite of procrastination ba, parang hard work, or it's not really hard work, parang
Let's just say
punctuality,
doing the action. Let's just say doing the
punctuality,
action.
doing
Yeah.
the action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parang associate doing the action with more rewards. Parang when you work on a certain project, you're gonna get appreciated, or maybe you're gonna get more monetary benefits, or you'll be able to help more people. So when you associate the opposite of procrastination with rewards, then it's easier for you to run towards the behavior that you want. And when you associate procrastination with pain points, like, for example, your mom would scold you, or for example, your teammates will be disappointed in you, or you won't be able to make money if you don't start a project, then it's easier to abandon that unhealthy or undesirable behavior.
Yeah, pwede. Sa'kin, yun na, one answer lang ba? One answer lang.
Sige, di tayo matatapos.
Hindi, kasi yan,
Marami.
ano kasi yan eh, yan yung isa sa mga palaging problems ng mga clients ko. Kasi
Mm,
naka-focus na ako sa hindi na repair yung ginagawa kong mga tini-take
mm,
in kong mga clients eh. More on optimization na eh. So people who
mm,
want to be productive, people who want to actually do more, people who want to be more confident. So isa palagi na bring out, Ken, I'm a procrastinator. I mean, alam ko naman na meron akong kailangan gawin, bakit hindi ko siya magawa? 'Di ba? Maganda na 'yun. Very important na 'yung sinabi ni Kyla. Pero check ko lang sa'yo. Wala na sa'yo nakikinig ngayon. Or sa mga nakikinig ngayon, may deadline ba yan?
mm.
So,
Good
kung
point.
bayaran mo si Kyla ng ₱1,000 'pag di mo siya ginawa, tataas ba yung chances na gawin mo na siya? Bayaran mo kami, send ka ng GCash 'pag di mo siya ginawa. Nagets mo ba?
Ah,
Sa mga nakikinig, I mean, yun yung in-explain natin na rewards and punishment, eh,
mhm,
right? And again, when you are procrastinating, what do you do? Clarify muna natin. Let's work with attention right now. When you say that you procrastinate, meron kang task na kailangan gawin. You didn't do the task. Now, ano yung ginagawa mo? Most people would say na, yan, bigla na lang ako nanood ng Netflix, eh. Yun na lang ginawa ko, tapos nag-Netflix na ako buong araw, hindi ko na nagawa yung ano, or meron something na nagre-repulse para hindi ko gawin yung task na yun.
mhm,
Di ba? So, tingnan muna natin, para sa iba talaga yung task na yun? On how I see things, ano po yung pigil sa'yo magbayad ng isang tao para gawin yung task na yun para sa'yo? On my mind, it's the end result that counts. You could strategize things. And if you have money to leverage, a lot of things that you have been procrastinating on can get done with using money.
mhm,
Tama?
mhm,
Pero kung sa'yo at ikaw lang yung makakagawa ng task na yun, kung ikaw lang talaga yung makakagawa ng task na yun, teka lang. I want you to structure and understand more and be more talaga aware of it on ano yung mga bagay na kailangan mangyari. Minsan naglalagay kang consequences. Ano yung mga bagay na kailangan mangyari para magawa mo yung task na yun?
mhm.
Connecting with what Kyla said, rewards.
Yeah.
Tanggalin yung iba, ang problema, internet. They're too
Mm,
distracted with the internet. Tapos
mhm,
nung sinabi nung isang client ko, Ken, um, tama ka. I turned off the internet. Ang dami ko nasulat. Wala na siyang magawa eh. Wala siyang
Yeah.
mati-Netflix, wala siyang mati-TikTok, wala siyang may-YouTube, wala siyang scroll sa Facebook, wala eh.
Stimulus control, like
Pinutol
you can
niya.
control your environment also.
Tama?
Yeah.
Gusto niya
Yeah.
mag-diet. Tapos yung punta siya ng grocery, binili niya puro karne.
Mm,
'Di ba? So,
mm,
malaking factor. So ngayon, kung kinontrol mo dun pa lang sa source at
mhm,
wala kang binili, di wala kang kakainin. Tinanggal mo yung
mhm,
apps mo, wala kang kakainin. Di
mm.
ba? Or yung binili mo puro gulay, di wala kang choice kundi gulay din kainin mo.
Yeah.
So we could also look at and approach the source and then so sa sinabi ko, ang dami ko na sinabi sa yung approach sa
Mm,
nakikinig ngayon and let's all start with awareness lang muna. What's
mhm.
stopping you from actually doing that? Understand why. And
Yeah.
minsan sasabihin na ng utak mo kung bakit at ano yung kailangan mong gawin.
Yeah. Sorry, just dovetailing on
Yeah.
awareness. I just want to add that sometimes you need to have a really honest conversation with yourself because maybe
Mm,
that
sakto yun.
I mean procrastinating is a form of defense mechanism. Maybe it's your subconscious mind's way of also protecting you from
Pwede.
disappointment because maybe you have experienced some sort of failure in the past, and that uh part of your psyche or part of your heart that's afraid to take action needs a form of healing. That's why, like, well, I was supposed to say inner child healing, but maybe that's for another episode. What I'm
Interesting
sim
yan.
yeah,
Interesting yan.
yeah. Uh,
Interesting.
uh, yeah, inner child healing is also like a very broad topic. So what I'm saying is like just have an honest conversation with yourself and heal that part of you that's perpetuating that behavior that you want to change.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Marami naman kami binigay na sagot pero again, see what resonates and I hope sa mga nabigay namin meron mag-resonate with you.
Mm,
And kung meron man kayo mga questions nga, yeah, feel free. We'll do our best to address the questions naman. Nakita nyo naman, talaga we make time to answer
oo nga, no? I'll take
questions din.
screenshots kung may questions dito so that we
Oo.
can address them in the next episodes.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
And syempre going back to yung nga traditional and new, siguro what I could um say with this, or how I view things is, these are tools. On how I view things, the traditional paved way to the new.
Mm.
Okay? Most of the new that I know have, ang roots niyan yung mga traditional pa rin. Because some of the people who have studied this deeper have noticed that some of the old is not actually working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they created some approaches that fits the new. And for me as a salesperson, I do see na parang yun yung concept ko sa sales eh. Hindi yung mga techniques before, hindi na yun fully mag-work ngayon. Nag-a-adjust yung tao, nag-a-adjust yung behavior. Kung gaano kabilis mo nakikita nag-a-adjust yung technology, yung cellphone na binili mo nga ano, kailan, iwan na sa mga bagong lumalabas ngayon. Kakabili mo lang ng, for example, Galaxy Watch 4. Ilang buwan lang Galaxy Watch 6 na, may Galaxy Watch 7 na ngayon. May iPhone, kung ano yung iPhone na ngayon. Again, ang bilis ng technology, and I do think as we see, nakikita niyo na yung changes in like generational, mga ano tawag natin doon, Kayla? Per generation, iba-iba yung behavior eh, napapansin natin on a general, 'di ba, note,
Mm.
'di ba? And
Mm-mm.
we see that there's a difference with millennials and Gen Zs,
Ah.
Gen
Although we're
X.
not generalizing
We're not
also.
generalizing, but
Yeah, yeah.
if you could notice, on a general point of view lang, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
majority lang, not, alam natin ano eh, ayaw natin mag-generalize eh.
Mm-hmm.
You would notice that there are big differences in behavior already.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe
Okay?
that's also related to our astronomical calendars. We also vibrate in different frequencies, and we're I'm not sure whether we are already in the age of Aquarius. That's another topic.
Ayan, yan, yan. Oh, ayan,
Uh,
specialization ni Kyla yun. So, siya yung may alam doon. Oh, ha? Oh, kaya
well,
ganito
maybe
yung
we can
partnership
invite
namin
like
dalawa.
a guest
Madami.
who's more knowledgeable on that also. Sige.
Marami tayong friends. Marami
Yeah.
tayong friends yan. Pero just connecting, or going back to what I was saying, I view this as tools. So
Mm.
I'm not centered with kuwari NLP lang ako. No, no, no.
Mm. Yeah.
Hindi ako centered with that. Malaking chunk lang nung nakikita kong uh, useful sa mga client work ko is NLP and conversational hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Hindi ko na nga ginagamit yung traditional hypnotherapy. 'Di ba? If we talk about traditional things, minsan, 'di ba, naiisip natin when we say hypnotherapy, hypnosis, 'di ba? Meron
Yung
pang
may
pendulum.
clock.
May pendulum, may clock, 'di ba? Tapos, Ken, gagamit ko ba ng gano'n sa session natin? Kasi
Yeah.
parang gusto ko yung meron gumaganon. Sabi ko, we don't even need that anymore.
Yeah.
Because nag-improve na yung approaches eh. Minsan, you don't even need to go to a state of trance to do hypnotherapy ngayon. It could
Mm-hmm.
just be like meditation, just breathe in,
Mm.
slowly breathe out, just close your
Yeah,
eyes and
I'm a
just relax. Just right. That's right.
yeah.
Relax.
I
Deeper
super
and
love
deeper. Ang
meditation.
bilis nung ganun, ang bilis nung change ng pace, di ba? And
Mm-hmm.
that's how things change. I mean, people adapt, and yeah, things
Mm-hmm.
change. We
Yeah.
embrace change. Yun lang.
Yes. And yeah, and we fully embrace change, and like by also doing this podcast, I get to reinforce the changes that I desire. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to improve myself by doing this. Thanks, Can, and thanks everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Enjoy.
All
And
right.
it's fun, ako sa akin, ano, for our friends who are watching, hindi naman kami palagi naka-live eh. So
Mm,
this is something na parang, tara, action first muna kami. So wala, less planning talagang, and
mm.
live kaagad kanina pagka pasok namin ni Kyla dito sa Zoom. Wala bang saglit. As in,
No practice.
walang practice, structure,
Yeah, yeah.
walang nakalagay
Yeah.
sa mga papel namin, wala.
Yeah.
It's just clear. We're just, ang naging, what we ensured lang is to come from a very good intention. That's why on the start of the podcast, lalo na sa mga taong joining right now, you could just watch the replay on this, upload naman ni Kyle yan sa YouTube. um, we started with an intention,
Mhm.
and we want to continue doing this podcast with the genuine intention of like sharing and helping, assisting others with their journeys. And we're not just sharing our journeys, our personal journeys, but we're also, um, what we've learned from different people that we've worked with or have encountered. We're also sharing their journeys, what we've learned
Mhm.
from them.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Kayla,
All
ngayon
right.
na.
So
Ngayon
that
na.
wraps up episode 1.
Yeah,
Stay
solid.
tuned for the topic for episode 2. We will just announce when we're gonna air that.
Mm.
So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Ken, and
Mm.
I'll see you
Thank
again
you,
next
Kyla.
time.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
wait, wait, wait.
okay.
Okay, bago tayo matapos, ano lang, I just want you to like, what are the things that stood out for you for this like first session? And how do you feel na ito tapos na yung session episode 1 natin? I mean, coming from you. Yeah.
All right. Because I did mention, my journey from traditional to new age to integrative. I've also noticed my inner evolution. So, not to brag, uh, kumbaga, I'm beginning to appreciate myself more, that I'm more open-minded, I'm more sensitive, uh, and I'm kinder because of this inner work.
Nice. And yeah,
How about you?
any feelings after episode 1? Ano sa
Well, actually, this is therapeutic for me. Parang ano to eh, parang hear the lesson, teach the lesson, and then practice the lesson. Diba?
Mm. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, sige. On my end, Kyla, what stood out is yung sinabi ko kanina. Just we're coming from intention, and with yun yung nakikita ko isa sa mga roots eh. When you start with intention, everything follows through. So from body language to the words to the reactions, I mean, yun yung nakikita ko. It follows intention. And how I'm feeling after session 1. Syempre, ano, excited pa rin for session 2. Ang daming ano eh. It's been a long time since I've like recorded the podcast again. Yung mga podcast ko nandiyan lang, nilulumot na. Hindi pa rin ako nagre-record. But I do think having like meron kang vision and aligned din ako dun sa vision na yun. It helped me like take action on things. So doing this recording, hindi naman din recording, live to eh. Doing this
Live.
live ng episode 1, I feel so relieved and I feel really good on me taking action on things.
Yeah,
So
thank
yeah,
you. We
yeah.
are accountability partners.
Salamat siya. At least push
Yeah.
moving forward, 'di ba? O moving
Yeah.
forward. So yeah, yun lang.
Hopefully later on it's gonna be like an accountability circle. We are
Pwede.
here, all here to improve ourselves, diba? And to feel good about ourselves and to see the world as like a better place and to eventually manifest like a higher vibration for everyone.
Okay. So ayan, sa mga ano, again, happy birthday kay Kyla. This is
Thank
her
you.
episode, birthday episode. And if you liked the episode, yeah, feel free to share to your friends. I mean, that would matter a lot. I mean, would be
Yeah.
appreciative with that. Thank you
Mm.
so much. So
Okay,
that
see you
wraps
next
episode 1.
time.
Bye.
Bye.